Much of the Bible rightfully praises the acquisition of knowledge and wisdom. In fact, the entire book of Proverbs is dedicated to this idea. My son, whatever you do, get knowledge, get wisdom, though it cost you many rubies or much gold. That's the message of Proverbs, right? But if you've been around the block a few times, you know, as well as I do, that knowledge sometimes has a dark side, a downside. And Paul hints at this in 1 Corinthians chapter 8, starting in verse 1. He says, "But knowledge puffs up, while love builds up. Those who think they know something do not yet know as they ought to know." Do you hear that? Knowledge has a way of leading to pride and self-importance, thinking that we're maybe wiser than we actually are. And we see this all the time. I've seen people use the Bible as a kind of blunt instrument to beat people down who disagree with them. Is that the way of love? Is that the way of true knowledge? Heck no, that is not true knowledge. The way of true knowledge, according to the very next verse, verse 3, is this: "But whoever loves truly knows." I love that line. But whoever loves truly knows. You want to show someone how much you know, impress them with your knowledge? Love them. That's what Paul says. See, there was an issue happening in Corinth. Again, Corinth is a city of many idols, many temples, and a lot of people had come out of that lifestyle, and they knew now they worshiped the one true God, that those idols were nothing, they were meaningless. So they had no issue eating meat that had been sacrificed to those idols. It was not a big deal. But others in their community were greatly offended, and their conscience was wounded by the idea of eating meat that had been sacrificed to a false god. And it greatly grieved them that their brothers and sisters in Christ were eating this meat that in their eyes was tainted. And Paul said even though the people who were free were acting in knowledge, knowing these idols were nothing, he doesn't disagree with them on this point, by the way. He's not saying their knowledge is wrong. He's simply saying they're not acting in love by exercising their freedom to eat this meat that these other brothers and sisters were hurt and grieved by. Even though they were free to do it, it was not the way of love. So it's love then, and not knowledge, that is the basis for Christian ethics. God doesn't care how much you know, how much I know. I mean, look at all these books behind me. I've read a lot of these books. It doesn't matter how much I know. You can pick up your phone or your computer and search anything and know anything you want to know. So what? I can too. It's not about what you know. It's about how you love. The true way of knowledge, the true path of knowledge, is that of love. Whoever loves truly knows. Amen.